I guess you are aware of the current statement by VERYDARKMAN about how the bank account of an NGO he created containing public donations was hacked. The situation surrounding the NGO's bank account created by VERYDARKMAN is quite complex. While there are claims that the account was hacked, there are also suspicions regarding the possibility of embezzlement. Without concrete evidence or official statements from the involved parties, it's challenging to draw definitive conclusions about what truly happened. Investigations would be necessary to establish the facts and determine whether the account was indeed hacked or if there was foul play. As of now, there's no confirmed information regarding the bank account of the NGO created by VERYDARKMAN being hacked. This situation raises questions about the possibility of embezzlement versus a legitimate hacking incident. To determine the truth, it would be essential to look for credible official statements regarding the incident. Investigations into both claims would be necessary to clarify whether the funds were indeed hacked or if there was any wrongdoing involved. There's no clear evidence to definitively support either scenario regarding the NGO's bank account created by VERYDARKMAN. Claims of hacking can often arise in conjunction with financial irregularities, but without verifiable information or an official investigation's findings, it's difficult to conclude whether the account was genuinely hacked or involved in embezzlement. Further inquiry and analysis of the actual financial records would be necessary to ascertain the truth. To determine whether the bank account of the NGO created by VERYDARKMAN was truly hacked, or if there was embezzlement involved, it would be important to gather credible information and evidence. This would include 1. Official reports. Look for any official statements from the NGO regarding the incident, including details about the hack. 2. Police investigations. Check whether law enforcement authorities conducted an investigation and published findings related to the incident. 3. Bank statements. Analyze bank records to see if there are discrepancies that would suggest embezzlement rather than hacking. 4. Expert opinions. Consult cybersecurity experts for insights on whether the breach appeared to be a hack or if there were indicators of internal fraud. 5. Witness testimonies. Gather testimonies from employees or associates of the NGO who may have insight into the account's management. Ultimately, a thorough investigation would be required to draw any conclusions about the nature of the event. The situation regarding the bank account of the NGO created by VERYDARKMAN is quite complex and would require an investigation to clarify. If there are allegations of hacking, it's essential to consider evidence such as 1. Technical evidence, analysis of digital logs or cybersecurity assessments to confirm if a hack occurred. 2. Financial audit. A thorough review of the NGO's finances to identify any inconsistencies or missing funds that could indicate embezzlement. 3. Eyewitness accounts. Statements from those involved with the NGO that might shed light on the circumstances surrounding the funds and the events. 4. Official statements. Any public or legal statements made by VERYDARKMAN or the NGO providing context on the claims of hacking. Ultimately, determining the truth would depend on the findings of law enforcement and cybersecurity professionals to establish whether it was indeed a case of hacking or if there was financial misconduct involved. To prove that VERYDARKMAN's NGO account was truly hacked and that he did not embezzle the money, several types of evidence would be necessary. 1. A detailed incident report. An official report from the NGO detailing the circumstances of the hack, including how it occurred when it was reported and the steps taken afterward. 2. Cybersecurity analysis. A forensic investigation by cybersecurity experts that confirms unauthorized access to the account, detailing how the breach happened and any impacts observed. 3. Bank records. Documentation from the bank showing unusual or unauthorized transactions that align with the timeline of the alleged hacking incident rather than personal withdrawals or fraudulent activities. 4. Law enforcement documentation. Any involvement by law enforcement, including crime reports or investigations, that supports the claim of hacking and not embezzlement. 5. Communication evidence, emails, messages, or other communications that demonstrate that VERYDARKMAN reported the hacking incident promptly and transparently to relevant stakeholders. 6. Witness statements. Testimonies from employees or associates of the NGO who can attest to the account's management and the circumstances surrounding the hack. 7. Security logs. Logs from the bank or the NGO's internal systems that indicate access to the account was made from unfamiliar IP addresses or devices. Gathering this type of evidence would help clarify the situation and may provide insight into whether the account was compromised by an external party or if there were internal issues at play. A forensic examination of the digital accounts and devices involved, which could reveal evidence of unauthorized access. Collectively, these elements can help to establish a clearer picture of what transpired and support claims that the account was hacked rather than funds being misappropriated. To gather proof that VERYDARKMAN's account was not truly hacked and that embezzlement occurred, the following evidence could be considered. 1. Transaction anomalies. An examination of bank statements for unusual transactions that are consistent with embezzlement rather than a typical hacking scenario, such as large sums being transferred to private accounts. 2. Lack of cybersecurity evidence. A lack of digital forensic evidence indicating a hack, such as logs showing no signs of unauthorized access or intrusion attempts. 3. Delay in reporting documentation showing that VERYDARKMAN delayed reporting the supposed hack or failed to follow standard procedures for reporting and mitigating a security breach. 4. Inconsistent statements. Any discrepancies or inconsistencies in VERYDARKMAN's narrative about the events surrounding the alleged hack, especially if statements change over time. 5. Witness accounts. Testimonies from employees or associates suggesting that there were no signs of a hack or that they observed suspicious behavior leading up to the incident. 6. Financial discrepancies. Evidence of missing funds that cannot be accounted for by any legitimate transactions or operational expenses of the NGO. 7. No law enforcement involvement. If there was no investigation initiated by law enforcement or no formal report filed, it could raise questions about the legitimacy of the hacking claim. 8. Internal control failures, evidence of poor financial practices or lack of oversight within the NGO that may have facilitated embezzlement without external interference. Collectively, these factors may indicate that the account was not hacked and that funds were misappropriated instead. A thorough examination of bank statements may reveal patterns of unusual transactions that don't align with the nature of a hacking incident, such as multiple withdrawals or transfers to personal accounts. Any documented history of financial mismanagement or previous allegations related to VERYDARKMAN could cast doubt on his claims of hacking. Gathering such evidence would be crucial in forming a case against the legitimacy of the hacking claim and supporting allegations of embezzlement. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe.